This is Mary Omni from the House of King David, and this is a Republic Notice and Warning. The title of this Republic Notice and Warning is called The Ebola Vote of Whites and Non-Whites. The Ebola Vote of Whites and Non-Whites. First of all, whites are looking at Africa as if this Ebola can be blamed solely on Africa. Now, I'm going to tell you a little later on why it can't be blamed solely on Africa. But let's start with this fact. Whites who populated Europe in 1347 had something called the Black Plague. And if you think that Ebola is not a strain or related to the Black Plague, you better think again. And if that's the case, then this Ebola may be from Europe. It's something for you to think about. White populated Europe. White populated Europe had the Black Plague in 1347. This highly contagious Ebola have a lot of similarity to the Black Plague, not only in looks, but the processing and the devastation and the fast consumption of the human body that this plague does. Not only that, it was similar to the fact that in 1347, comets came down, and comets were a part of it. Well, now we have chemtrails and we have comets that are in our midst again. And along with these chemtrails and comets, this could be another form of the adaptation of the survival of the Black Plague. So don't get too, ahead of yourselves and thinking that you had nothing to do with it. Not only that, white folks and non-white folks in America who vote Ebola, and I'm going to get to how you vote Ebola in a second. I'm getting to it now, really. You vote Ebola just by being here, trampling God's holy covenant called the Constitution and using blacks as the excuse to trample it. You go along with the propaganda that blacks are less than and can easily be trampled and discrimination if you just use your majority of incorporate doctrines as those who volunteered to come here and don't have a slave history here. You use that fact and you trample blacks who you know are constitutional citizens. Now, the other thing is, since Woodrow Wilson, 1913, wanted to have the birth of a new nation, whites have been voting consent to white supremacy, and any evil was accepted as long as they had all white senates, all white governors, all white in these offices and agencies at the top. Long as white supremacy stood, any evil was okay as long as they got their little trinkets and had the benefit of white supremacy so they can have their privileges. Which means that they knew it had nothing to do with constitutionality. And they know that they are more evil than they are dumb. They have selective intelligence. Selective intelligence means that they choose evil knowingly, they trample the Constitutionally, and so do the non-white in this country who come here puffed up like Denise D'Souza, who talk about black failure cannot be blamed on discrimination, when you have 200 to 300 million evil in corporate doctrine Babylon mob marker beast slaves running to voting booths to keep up white supremacy of incorporate doctrines and trampling the Constitution. When you go to vote, you better hope them voting booths is not smeared with Ebola, because you are the Ebola consenters. You are the Ebola consenters. You better hope you don't walk out of that booth with Ebola. Because guess what? Blacks already have a built-in vote in the Constitution. They are the government. Okay? They are the built-in vote constitution because they are the jurisdiction in which the Constitution is law. Law. Not run into a booth in a majority herd of incorporate doctrines for your globalist masters, voting for their Ebola and their chemtrails and their evil and their wickedness and their demonic lizard alien demons from who knows where. You vote for demonic lizard alien demons and everyone and every evil that anybody has to offer you, and you're voting debt, theft, embezzlement, and everything. So you're voting Ebola. So white folks don't think you're going to escape for the Ebola, because you consented to Ebola, you consented to chemtrails, you consented to the murder of blacks, you consented to the jailing of blacks, you consented to the oppression of blacks, and you non-white colored of imported island people, Hispanics, black people, Africans, all of you are consenters to Ebola. You're consenters to globalist evil wickedness of lizard demons. When you come to America and you act like blacks who you know worked 400 years is less than you. You are consenters to evil. You are consenters to the plagues of the earth, and Revelation and the 7 vials will be opened up on your ass. Now you go vote on that, your majority, and think you owe the wealth that blacks worked for 300 and 400 years. Keep thinking you owe that, and see won't you come down with the plague. And it's a trick, another trick for you whites, to make you think it's from Africa. So you don't know it's another form of the black plague that's specifically coming for your ass, because that lizard demons love your calcified pineal gland, and they got your ass spliced. They're going to get your ass because you have said your soul is not worthy, because you have fought the living God and his holy covenant, and you're caught. Now you run to the voting booth and vote for your all-white Senate, who put you in thousands of years of debt, and vote for these militarized police. Vote yes, because that's all you do. You're blind consenters. You don't understand that the blacks are supreme in the Constitution because they are the only non-consenters. And the Constitution, if you don't serve that and get on this nigger train, and you done missed the majority, you done missed the nigger train. So you go ahead and you vote. You go ahead and vote for your Ebola, and see won't it turn into the black plague on your white ass, on your brown ass, on your yellow ass, and everything. And you may think just because a couple blacks in America may be taken out from it, you know, it's going to turn into just like it was before. You'll see who the black plague is for. Those who consented to it. That's who it's for. Blacks are non-consenters. They non-consented to the debt. They non-consented to the globalists. They non-consented to a white majority because they are the Republic minority. You seem to have selective intelligence on that too. You want to talk Republic minority when it benefits you, but you don't want to respect the constitutionality of blacks. So you consent to all evil just to ignore blacks. You consent to Ebola just to ignore blacks. Keep on consenting so the evil can consume you, okay? And so you can understand that you are your father's children, Satan, and you do the work of it. This has been Mary Omni from the house of King David. Shalom.